Hello everybody, how are you guys? Hope everybody's doing well, and I am excited about today's show. We're going to do some really great things. Sorry for adjusting the camera here. Okay, we're going to do some really great things today. Let me tell you what we have planned. First of all, look how beautiful of a day it is in Eretz Yisrael. It's warm out today, it's sunny out today, it's beautiful, it's just incredible here in Mitzvah Yericho, in Eretz Yisrael, and we absolutely love it here. It's such a great time and such a great day. Okay, well, let me tell you what we're going to do today. First, I'm going to show you something special in Mitzvah Yericho, something special in my house here in Mitzvah Yericho that I haven't shown you yet, and I can't wait to show it to you because I think you're going to really love it. It's something that we use for a mitzvah that we can't do today because we're trying to stay healthy. So we have to make sure that we don't use this, but I'll show you in a minute. I'm going to leave you in a little suspense and we'll do a surprise. Then we're going to tell a story about somebody by the name of Rav Chanina Bar Chama. Rav Chanina Bar Chama, and we're going to talk about him, and we're going to talk about a story with him and rain and not eating, and it's going to be amazing. That's going to be our second thing we're going to do. And then our third thing, because it's the last day of the week that we have our show, I thought I'd take something special and wait till Yom Chamishi, until Thursday, till almost Erev Shabbat, and show you something really incredible, something that we don't get to use that much, and I can't wait to show it to you. So we're going to do all these great things in one show. I can't wait to show it to you, and it's going to be a great show today. Is everybody excited? I hope you're excited. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is something in my house. I'm going to show you. I'm going to move the camera here, so come with me. And this is my house. My house has 2 stories. Watch this. Oh, see, there's another porch up there. And then down here we have another porch. Well, do you see how up there, you can go up there, that's where me and my family, that's where we live. And down here, you can see, right, we've gone in here before. This is where my guests stay and where I learn Torah. I've showed you where I learned Torah before, but now I want to show you where our guests stay. Okay, watch. So the first thing we do is we always knock first, right? We gotta make sure that we can come in, and since we don't have any guests today, I'm the only one down here, so I can knock and no one's gonna come in, but we still knock just because that's the halacha. And then we make sure we wipe down the mezuzah first because we're trying to stay healthy and there can be germs on the mezuzah. So I wipe down the mezuzah, and now I'm gonna kiss the mezuzah, and then I'm gonna come inside. And remember, this is where I learned Torah, in this room, right? Remember we talked about that. But then I'm going to show you something. Remember, this is the Aron Kodesh. We might see that again later today. This is the Aron Kodesh. And then I'm going to show you something that we have in this room. If you look down the hallway, there's a hallway here, and here, there's another room here. These, and we're going to go in here, these are guest rooms. These are rooms that we use. There's some svarim in here also for our guests. See, there's beds here. And our guests come and stay here. And having guests is a really big mitzvah. It's called Hachnasat Orchim. And Avram Avinu used to have guests. And Yitzchak used to have guests. And Yaakov used to have guests. And they taught us how important it is to have guests. So in our house, we have an entire floor just for guests. For nobody else, just for guests. During the week, no one sleeps in these bedrooms. These are reserved just for guests. And when guests come and they can stay here. And we have all types of people that get to stay here. Whoever wants to come can stay in our apartment. And you see, we even have a sign so that the guests will know. It says, come in, open 24 hours, Bruchim Habayim, which in Hebrew means come on in. And when you come in, the first thing you see, let me show you, is this sign. And this sign says, Bruchim Habayim, welcome. Because we want all of our guests to feel very welcome in our house. And it's very important. Not everybody can have a room special for guests, but it's very important to have guests, and especially people that maybe don't have a place to eat and don't have a place to sleep, or maybe some of our relatives, and to be able to have them over. And having guests is very important. Unfortunately, today, it's not a good idea to have guests, and that's okay. Because just like Hashem gives us a reward and a mitzvah for when we have guests, now we can't have guests because it's dangerous, because we have to make sure that we stay far away from people. So we're just with our family. So we don't have guests now, and that's okay, because Hashem says, listen, you're doing a different mitzvah. You're not having guests, but there's a different mitzvah you're doing. You're doing the mitzvah of Nishmartem Me'od et Nashosechem and Pikuach Nefesh. You're doing two mitzvot. You're making sure that you stay healthy, and you're saving other people's lives by not coming close to them. That's Pikuach Nefesh, and maybe getting them sick if we're sick. So that's our mitzvah today. But as soon as all this is over, and we get to go back to shul, and we get to go back to school, then we can't wait. We're going to invite guests over, and we're going to have them over for meals, and have them over for sleeping, and maybe, you ready for this? Maybe one day, you'll come to Mitzvah Yericho, and you can be our guest, and you can sleep down here. We would absolutely, absolutely love that. So, that was what I wanted to show you. Something special about Mitzvah Yericho is that you can come here and sleep here. And you should know, most of the houses in Mitzvah Yericho have a place just like this, just for guests. Because everybody in Mitzvah Yericho loves having guests. And on Shabbat, when we used to go to shul, and soon, hopefully we'll be able to go to shul again very, very soon, when you come to shul in Mitzvah Yericho, and you come on Shabbat, a lot of the people are strangers who came to Mitzvah just as guests for Shabbat. And on Friday night in shul, we go around and we ask them, do you have a place to sleep? Do you have a place to eat? And everybody says yes. And if they don't, then we get to have them at our house also, or somebody else takes them. And it's really nice. We have all different types of people from all over the world come as guests. And I hope one day you can be our guest as well. Okay. That was the first part where I show you something special about Mitzvah Yericho and about our house. Now let's go to the second part, where we're going to talk about somebody named Rav Chanina Bar Chama. Rav Chanina Bar Chama was not born in Eretz Yisrael. He wasn't born here, but just like me and many other people, he moved here when he got older. And that's called making Aliyah. He used to live, remember, in a place called Bavel. We talk about this a lot, which is all the way over there, right? You go past Jordan, all the way into what today is called Iraq, and that's where they lived. They lived in a place called Bavel, all the way over there. And a lot of the people wanted to learn Torah that lived in Bavel. And the best place to learn Torah is in Eretz Yisrael. We even have a pasuk that you know, Ki mitzion teitzei Torah, udvar Hashem Yerushalayim. That from Zion is Yerushalayim, is Eretz Yisrael. From Zion is where the Torah comes out, right? That's where Torah is taught, in Yerushalayim. And do you know today in Eretz Yisrael, not only are there more Jews that spend their entire day learning Torah in Eretz Yisrael and in Yerushalayim than in the rest of the world, but in all of Jewish history, from Har Sinai, all the way to when there was a Beit HaMikdash, all the way to today, there were never as many people learning Torah as there are today. Isn't that amazing? Do you realize how special we are that we get to live in today's time when that happens? Oh, it's such a zechut, it's such a merit, such a great privilege that we get to live in today's time when so many people learn Torah. Okay, well, Rav Chanina Bar Chama lived all the way over there in Bavel, and then moved to Eretz Yisrael. And when he got here, he needed a job. So he actually had two jobs. You ready for this one? This is so amazing. Absolutely amazing. Listen to what his two jobs were. His first job was, he was a doctor. He helped people get better. He was a doctor, which is a great job to have. Right, he was a doctor, especially today. So many people need doctors. It's so great when you have a doctor. So that was his first job. His second job was he used to sell honey, dvash. He would sell honey to people. If you wanted honey, where does honey come from? Does honey come from a tree? Nope. Honey doesn't come from a tree. It doesn't come from the ground. Honey comes from bees. So he had bees, and he would sell honey to people, and then honey back then made things sweet. They didn't have like snacks in the store, and they didn't have candy. If you wanted something to be sweet, You put honey on it, and it was delicious. Sometimes today, people still do that. They put honey on top into their tea, and they make it sweet, and they do different things to make things sweet. They use honey. So Rav Chanina Bar Chama was a doctor, and he sold honey, but he also, and this is the most important part of his life if you would ask him, he taught people Torah. You see how I coughed? You have to cough in a special way now to make sure that we keep everybody safe. So we don't use our hands. We don't cough into our hands because then your hands can touch somebody else, get them sick or something else. So we cough like this, right? Okay, great. So Rav Chanina Bar Chama taught Torah, okay? He taught Torah to people, and he was a great teacher. People came from all over to learn Torah from him, and he was a big tzaddik. And he did something special, which we don't do anymore today, but imagine how beautiful this would be if we did it today. We do like some of it. Every Erev Shabbat on Friday night, when people would light the candles, when mommies would light the candles, he would put on special Shabbat clothing, like we do today. We wear special Shabbat clothing, and he would go out to the field. He would go out into the field, and he would say, "Welcome, Shabbat Queen. Welcome, Shabbat Queen." And that's how we get Lechadodi, right? We sing Lechadodi. So that's what he would say. He would say, "Welcome, Shabbat Queen." He would stand in the middle of the field. He probably looked like this. He would stand in the middle of the field. He would say, "Welcome, Shabbat Queen, Shabbat HaMalkah, welcome." And that's how he would greet the Shabbat Queen. He would greet her and he would welcome her. And people would be so, so happy because it would be welcoming Shabbat, and it would be such a beautiful way to welcome Shabbat. And then they'd walk back into the field. From the field, they'd go home, and they'd have a beautiful Shabbat meal. But that's what he would do every Shabbat. Well, one year, though, and remember how we once talked about this, how when it rains, that in Eretz Yisrael, not anywhere else in the world, but when it rains in Eretz Yisrael, it's a bracha. It's Hashem giving us a bracha. We call it Gishmei Bracha, the rains of bracha. That's what we call it, right? And he would have, and whenever it rains, we know that Hashem is giving us a bracha. It's a matana, it's a gift from Hashem. Well, sometimes we don't do what Hashem wants, and then Hashem doesn't give us rain. And if we don't have rain, then we don't have vegetables in the field, we don't have fruit. And if we don't have fruit, we don't have vegetables, we don't have wheat, we can't make bread. And if we don't have enough food, then we have big problems. It used to be there weren't stores, there weren't supermarkets that you can go to get food from. And even today when we have the supermarkets, where does the food go? Where does the food come to the supermarkets from? It comes from the fields, from the farms. And the farms need rain. So we always daven for rain. We say, V'tein tal matar levracha. Right? We say, Hashem, please give us rain. And we thank Hashem and praise Hashem for giving us rain. We say, Mashiv haruach u'morid hageshem. Right? Because we need rain. And we know, if in Eretz Yisrael it's raining, then Hashem gave us a big bracha. Do you know that this year we had more rain than we've ever had in almost 20 years? So Hashem gave us a big, big bracha this year with a lot of rain. And we're going to have a lot of vegetables and a lot of fruit. And we need it this year, right? That's what we need. So that's an amazing thing. But one year, unfortunately, when Rav Chanina Bar Chama lived, there was no rain. And Rav Chanina Bar Chama lived in the north of Israel. And he had a friend who was another big Talmid Chacham. His name was Yeshua ben Levi. And Yeshua ben Levi lived in the south of Eretz Yisrael. Okay, I'll show you the directions. You ready for this one? This way is north Eretz Yisrael. That way is south Eretz Yisrael. So Rav Chanina Bar Chama lived in the north of Eretz Yisrael. And Rav Yeshua ben Levi lived in the south of Eretz Yisrael. Those are the places that they lived, okay? And it didn't rain. It didn't rain in the north in Eretz Yisrael, this way, and it didn't rain in the south in Eretz Yisrael, that way. So they decided that we're going to have to daven a lot for rain. We're going to have to daven because we have to ask Hashem, Hashem, please give us rain. But sometimes the situation is so bad, just davening isn't enough. Then we've got to do teshuvah. We've got to say to Hashem, Hashem, I know I spoke Lashon Hara and I wasn't nice to somebody, and one time I even missed davening. So Hashem, I'm going to have to make it up. I'm so sorry, and I regret doing it. I wish I hadn't missed davening. So now, I'm going to please Hashem. I'm going to say, I'm never going to do it again. And I'm so sorry for doing it. And if I hurt somebody else's feelings, I'm going to go to that person. I'm going to apologize. I'm going to say, I'm sorry for hurting your feelings. And that's called teshuvah. So, sometimes though, the situation is so bad that just doing teshuvah isn't enough. We also have to spend the day not eating. That's called a fast day. In Hebrew, it's called a Yom Tzom or a Ta'anit. And sometimes if it doesn't rain here in Eretz Yisrael, the Rabbanim will get up and they'll say, it's time to do teshuvah. And in order to make sure we do teshuvah, we're going to have a ta'anit, we're going to have a tzom. Do you know who did that? Esther Hamalka did that. When Achashverosh and Haman were going to kill the Jews, Esther said to all the Jews, you have to fast for 3 days and do teshuvah and daven. That's why Esther said you have to fast. So, when Rav Chanina Bar Chama lived, one year there was a big fast. And he said, okay, sorry, there was no rain. And he said, okay, we're going to have to make a fast now. So he called up. This is what he did. He called up his friends, but not on the phone. They didn't have phones then. He sent one of his students to his friend, Yeshua ben Levi, in the south. Remember, he was up in the north. And he said, we have to have a fast day. So they had a fast day. And everybody came out and they did teshuvah. And they gave each other ideas about what they could do better. They said, we don't have to speak as much Lashon Hara as we're speaking. We should cut out all Lashon Hara. And we're going to learn extra Torah. And we're going to make sure we daven all the time. That's what they said. And they said, okay. And then it rained, but only in the south. It didn't rain in the north. And the north also needed rain. And Rav Chanina Bar Chama said, oy vey, it must be because of me it didn't rain in the north. If Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, my friend, it rained in the south, it must be because of him. And if it didn't rain for me, it must be because of me. So, he decided to have another fast day, Rav Chanina Bar Chama, and he invited his friend Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi to come to the north. And that day, they both fasted. And everybody in the north fasted. And Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi fasted, and he did a lot of tshuva. And Rav Chanina Bar Chama fasted, and he did a lot of tshuva. And guess what? It still didn't rain. So Rav Chanina Bar Chama says, wait a minute. If Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi is with me, and it still didn't rain all the way up here in the north, it must be that it's not because of me, and it's not because of Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. It has to be because of everybody. And everybody's got to do teshuvah. So he said, okay, let's get everybody to do teshuvah. We got to make sure. So they brought everybody out, and everybody started doing teshuvah. And then when everybody had they do it, they brought everybody into the street. They took the Sefer Torah out into the street. They davened in the street. They read the Torah in the street. And they said to everybody right now, we've got to do teshuvah together. Everybody do teshuvah together. So everybody started doing teshuvah together. And they said, okay, what can we do better? What can we do? What can we do? And Rav Chanina Bar Chama said, oy vey, I'm the teacher. And if I'm the teacher and people aren't doing teshuvah, what are we going to do? So they started saying, we have to do teshuvah together. And then everybody did teshuvah. Rav Chanina Bar Chama led them. And Yeshua ben Levi helped them. And all the peoples did teshuvah together. And then it started raining and Hashem sent their bracha. What can we learn from that story? Oh, I think it's so clear what we can learn from the story. What do we learn from that story? That when things are bad and we're going through something that's so tough, what should we do? We should daven and we should do teshuvah. That's what we should do. Every single one of us, me and you on the video, and our parents and our teachers and our rabbis and everybody that we know right now has to sit there and say, there's one thing I could be doing better. Just pick one thing. And then we could do teshuvah. We could say, I'm so sorry that I do this. For some people, it's going to be listening to my parents when they say it's time to go to sleep. And for other people, it's going to be when my parents tell me it's time to daven or time to learn, I got to listen. And for some people, it's going to be nicer to my brother or my sister, or both my brother and my sister, or everybody in my house. I'm going to be nicer to. Or I'm going to make sure that for 5 minutes I sit down every day and learn Torah. That's teshuvah. That's what we're going to do, and that's what we should really focus on doing, okay? That's a great story. What a good story. And now, because it's Erev Shabbos, and because, well, it's almost Erev Shabbat, right? Almost Erev Shabbat. You can see, right? You see the purple clouds over there and the blue sky over here. Well, soon the clouds are going to come up. The sun is already setting, and soon it's going to be Erev Shabbat. So I want to show you the most special thing I'm going to save for Shabbat. You guys want to see something really special? But I have to take you inside to my study to show it to you. Are you guys ready to see it? Okay, here we go. I'm going to show it to you. I'm very excited. We have to move the camera. We have to go together. Here we go. I'm going to pick it up, and here we go. We're going to go together. First, remember the rules, okay? We got to knock on the door. Nobody here, okay? And then we already cleaned off the mezuzah, so we can kiss the mezuzah. But if we didn't clean it off, we shouldn't kiss it, right? Because that's how we make sure that people don't get sick. And then we're going to go back into my study, okay? And here we go. I'm going to put the camera here. I'm going to show you something really special. Do you remember what's in here? This is the Aron Kodesh. And inside the Aron Kodesh is my Sefer Torah. Now we're going to take the Torah out. And again, because it's clean, I'm the only one with it, I can give it a kiss. Mwah. But if not, then I wouldn't kiss it. I'm going to put it down here. I have to fix the camera in a minute. I have a table right here. Okay. Let's see how we can do this. 1 second. Okay, if we put this like this, I think we'll be able to do this. Okay, I'll be able to not have to hold this while we do it. Let's see here. If we put this here. Nope. Okay, well, we'll put it here like this. Watch this. And then I'm going to... Okay. And take this off. And now I'm going to take the cover off the Torah. You hear it banging, right? Here's the cover. Take the cover off. And now look at what the Torah looks like. Okay, some of you might have seen a Torah like this before, maybe not. And this is the Torah's belt. In Yiddish, we call it a gartel. Okay, and now here's the Torah. Okay, now watch what we're going to do. I'm going to show you what the inside of the Torah looks like. Do you see? These are the letters of the Torah. I'm going to show you up close. Okay, these are the letters of the Torah. This is this week's Parshat HaShavua. Okay, it's the end of this week's Parshat HaShavua. And this, you can see, let's see if there's some letters I can point out. Okay, here's an owl. And this is the name Moshe. Okay, and when it comes to the inside of a Sefer Torah, we don't touch the Torah because then the ink can come out. Okay, so instead, we have what's called a yad. And we use the yad to point. So see, so now I'm pointing to the name Moshe. And this is Aaron here, okay? And that's the inside of a Sefer Torah. Okay, so now we have to, like everything else, but especially a Torah, to show it the proper kavod, we have to close the Torah, right? So we're going to close the Torah. I'll show you in a minute, right? So now we rolled it up so it's closed, okay? Rolled up so it's closed. And now I'm going to put the belt back onto it to keep it closed tight. See? Now the belt is back on, right? We close it tight. As Velcro, we close it. And now I'm going to put the cover on the Torah. Okay, so here's the cover. It has my name on it, just in case, so everybody knows whose Torah it is, so we don't lose it. Okay. Put it on, because sometimes take the Torah to a shul. And there's a lot of Torahs there, so we don't want to get them mixed up. Okay, and then we are going to put the Torah cover on. See, now the cover's on. We have to push it down to make it tight and on. And then we're going to put the yad on top. You see how now the Torah is all set up again, right? Okay, and it's all closed up. So you got to see the inside of what's really my most special thing which is the Torah. And now we're going to put the Torah back. So here we go. You pick it up and give it a kiss. Okay. And now we're going to put the Torah back.